I call this regular council meeting to order, and could we have a certification of a quorum, please?
Sir, Mayor Jason Knight,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Place 4 Jerry R. Haskins,
Here.
Councilmember Place 1 Ruth Camarillo Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Place 2 Elise Chacon,
Here.
Councilmember Place 3 Luana Lulu Martin.
Here.
Mayor, there is a quorum of the council present to conduct this meeting.
Okay, thank you. Now, would everyone please rise? We're going to have the invocation performed by Donald Volts, pastor of Crossroad Church, and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father, we thank you, Lord, for your many blessings in our lives, in our community, and our nation. We just ask, Lord, you continue to bless us and lead us and guide us. I pray, Lord, for our council. I pray that you would bless them with wisdom and compassion as they lead our community. And I just pray, Lord, for them as individuals, their families. There's the greatest blessings. You've given them a servant's heart to serve, and we just ask, Lord, for your continued guidance. Bless our community, and especially those, Lord, that have the least among us. I pray, God, that we would use our blessings to bless them and just reveal your path to us and your guidance. And we just ask, Lord, that we'll do your will in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I don't think we need to go into staff reports or anything,
No,
right?
sir.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to go into post update free day at the collection station held on January the 10th.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We did have a statistical successful day at the cleanup station on the free day. We had 6 roll-offs. We filled them up. I think it was about 2 or 2:30. So it kind of gives us cue that we probably need to bump up to 8 to be able to hold it open the whole day. We had 82 citizens come in and dump, and then we also received, accepted 50 tires.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, and I know I talked to Mickey, it was a few days after it, and I guess he was probably talking with you about it because there's some TCEQ that steps in over there at the transfer station. And I don't know if y'all guys got it figured out, like if we just do these every so often through the year, if we could accept like some fence slats. I know there was a couple people turned away.
Gardening. Gardening materials
it's a very
and
thin
stuff.
line because we do accept clean lumber, but we can't take construction debris. So a lot of times the way I try to define it is that if you have leftover lumber from a project and it's clean cut, we'll take it. But if you bring it with nails and
and
screws
stuff
sticking out, then it becomes construction debris.
Okay.
And TCQ would not allow us to take construction debris.
Okay.
So that's where that fine line is at.
Gotcha. Okay.
But what we could do, and not to put Tino on the spot, but if we refer back to the old days where we actually put roll-offs in different parts of town, so that way people don't have to drive to the opposite side. They could just find a location at that point, then we could just dump directly into the dumpster and go from there. And we can evaluate if we can actually accept construction debris or not. I'm not sure because the permitting is for dumping at the transfer station.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean you can't dump construction debris directly in the dumpster and take it straight to the
Yeah. That's an option for the
yeah.
council to
So it's just an
consider.
option to open up that door.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm
I-
not sure we can actually start receiving it at the transfer station.
I mean, I'd be
Tino,
open to it
do
because
we accept construction debris during the cleanups, like, yeah? See,
Yeah.
at that point, then we can open up to fences or decks or anything
yeah,
like
because
that.
we've been doing it like that and I mean, it worked because
Yeah.
I know you got a single line you got to line up in out there, and I know I went out there and there was a pretty good line of cars about
Yeah,
10 a.m.
definitely.
So I mean, yeah, I think it's something we
Because
could
like I
look
said,
at.
TCQ manages a permit for that dump site, for that transfer station. That's where the rules are strict.
Right.
But if we pick 3 or 4 locations, different quadrants of the city, set up 2 dumpsters in each spot, and tell everybody, hey, come and dump, and we would have to restrict it to citizens only, but I mean, it would still be free. We can start accepting things that are outside of the permit, considering, I mean, keep in mind as long as they're not hazardous, things of that sort.
Yeah.
But it would open the opportunity to do that. The only thing is that it won't be at the transfer station anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to it because there's a lot of people don't even know how to find a transfer station. So, I mean,
If there's a consensus from the council to move in that direction instead of the free day at the transfer station, we can certainly look into that.
I like that. I like it too.
And
We always have a good turnout on
it
those
opens
too.
the opportunity to have volunteers too. I know some
Yeah.
people from the city that live in the city will come help or
Yeah.
just help pick up stuff along the road. So now we can have a team saying, hey, if you can't bring it over here, then we'll send a team to go pick it
Yeah.
up. You know, 'cause, I mean, if it's manageable per se.
How many
Yeah.
times are we doing that a year right now? Just once? Or are we doing it twice?
I think
We're
The
doing it-
cleanup, we haven't done one this year.
We
that-
haven't done one, but normally we've done it just once a year.
Just once a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to definitely bump it
But
up.
we could allocate funds to see if we can make it a little bit more routine. Let's say we do spring cleaning, summer, winter, try to do it
Like do it
4 times a
quarterly or
year.
something?
Yeah.
Do once a quarter would be great. So,
That might
question
work
for you,
better.
so people know. Are you sending those tires that were collected out for recycling? Or what are we doing with those
No,
tires?
we hire a company that comes to pick them up.
Okay.
And then they recycle or whatever they can do with them. Yeah.
Awesome.
But we do dispose of them the right way in terms of load them into the trailer and then they take them from there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Real good. All right. Thank you, David.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, David.
Okay, now we're going to go into citizens' comments.
Good evening, council. I just wanted to take a moment to talk about something we don't always see in local government. Good old-fashioned integrity. Now, when the SIP and straw ordinance came up, something that could affect our own business, Councilmember Luann Martin did something downright refreshing. She stepped aside, just plain common sense, the kind your grandma would say, doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. Now, I gotta say, that stood out. Because not too long ago, we had folks sitting on the city council and the Chamber of Commerce board at the same time, and when the chamber business came up, stepping aside was about as common as snow in August. Back then, conflict of interest sounded less like a rule and more like a seasoning. Sprinkle a little on top and keep right on voting. But today, I want to shine a light on something important. We finally have a new city council that understands what integrity looks like. They're not treating ethics like optional side dishes. They're showing up, doing the work, and doing it clean. So I want to say thank you truly to the new council for bringing back a little honesty, a little transparency, and a whole lot of common sense. It's nice to see leadership that doesn't need a flow chart to figure out when to step aside. Thank you.
Thank you,
Will.
Will.
Thanks, Will.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Samantha Jeter, and I serve as the Outreach Coordinator for the Sandra Sue Benson Animal Adoption Center. That's the SPCA of San Pat County. I'm here because Aransas Pass is experiencing an increase in stray animals, owner surrenders, and dumping, while both animal control and the shelter continue operating with limited staffing, space, and infrastructure. This impacts public safety, city resources, and humane care for animals. Animals don't have a voice in our policies, our budgets, or enforcement decisions. They rely entirely on us to protect them, and when systems fail, they are the ones who suffer quietly. I did review our city code of ordinances, and I was encouraged to see that we already have those strong laws in place. Animals running at large is prohibited, rabies vaccination and registration are required, enforcement authority already exists. The issue is not missing laws, it's consistent enforcement, accountability, and infrastructure support. We are also facing this locally within a larger statewide crisis. Texas consistently ranks among the highest states for shelter euthanasia. San Patricio County does not operate a county shelter, increasing pressure on city and nonprofit partners. Even larger cities struggle. Corpus Christi reports responding to only about 44% of critical animal calls. Here in Aransas Pass, 2 animal control officers serve approximately 8,000 residents. Intake moratoriums occurred due to overcrowding, and we continue managing overflow with very limited resources. At the shelter, we see the emotional impact daily: injured strays, forced surrenders, and animals waiting far too long for homes. Our shelter is a nonprofit organization, and it is not tax funded. We rely heavily on grants, donations, and community support to operate and serve the city. At the same time, animal control needs a functional, properly equipped facility to safely and effectively perform their duties. Infrastructure directly impacts officer safety, animal care, response capacity, and overall enforcement effectiveness. Strong enforcement and adequate facilities protect residents, animals, and city resources. This is not about blame. Our officers and shelter staff care deeply about public safety and animal welfare. We share the same goal: responsible ownership, humane treatment, and a safer community. I respectfully encourage the council to continue prioritizing enforcement, facility investment, education, and collaboration. Thank you for your leadership and your commitment to Aransas Pass.
Thank you.
Thanks, Samantha.
Thank you.
Samantha.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Maria Halloran, also known as Meadow. I'm here to address the ongoing stray and abandoned cat and dog issues in our community and to share reasonable, enforceable, and humane solutions. These approaches reduce complaints, protect public health, and use our limited resources more effectively, while recognizing that there are living animals who did not create this problem and should not pay for human neglect with their lives. First, enforcement must be part of the solution. Although ordinances regulating animal care, confinement, and licensing exist, backyard breeding and abandonment remain problems when enforcement is inconsistent. Stronger coordination between animal control and law enforcement would deter repeat offenders and send a clear message that abandonment is not acceptable in our city. Second, we need better public education. There is still widespread misunderstanding about trap, neuter, and return. When done correctly, TNR reduces nuisance behaviors such as fighting, spraying, and roaming, and it stabilizes cat populations. Clear, consistent communication from the city about when and why TNR is used will build public trust and reduce misinformation. Third, TNR should be implemented with thoughtful oversight and clear standards, ensuring it is part of a broader animal management strategy and aligned with community expectations. This leads to volunteers and donations. Our animal control department cannot do this alone. By partnering with SPCA and surrounding rescue groups, we can expand foster networks, save more animals, and reduce shelter overcrowding without increasing city costs. I asked the council whether foster-related insurance or liability coverage is needed, and if so, whether it should be planned for future budgets. Additionally, are there opportunities to formally support volunteers and community-led donation drives so residents who want to help can do so safely, responsibly, and in coordination with animal control. Next, colony management must be organized and accountable. When cats are fed inconsistently or without oversight, they roam in search of food, leading to neighbor complaints. Registered colony caretakers with scheduled feeding, monitoring, and sterilization requirements help stabilize colonies, reduce roaming, and ensure animals are cared for responsibly. Finally, a barn cat or working cat program offers a practical alternative for feral cats who cannot thrive in typical neighborhood settings. Placing these cats at approved working properties benefits local businesses, reduces nuisance complaints, and provides a humane outcome for cats that are not traditionally adoptable. Together, these actions will lead to fewer abandoned animals, lower euthanasia rates, fewer complaints, reduced shelter intake, and increased public confidence in animal control operations. Tonight, I respectfully ask the city to take action through enforcement-based solutions, public education on TNR, foster and rescue partnerships, and structured colony management and barn cat programs. These steps reflect compassion, responsibility, and good governance, and they will make our community healthier and safer for everyone. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Meadow.
you.
Okay, anyone else wish to speak? Oh, I thought you were coming. Okay, come on. All right. Okay. All right, no problem.
Okay. Hi, Mayor and Council. My name's Teresa Tippin. I own KCS Public Relations. We're one of the companies that responded to your RFP for a public relations consultant. Just wanted to let you guys know that we're local. We're officed in Corpus Christi, but my staff is here. They're on the island. We're kind of all around the area. We've got a very strong background in public relations. We've been around since 2002. My background before purchasing KCS was digital marketing and advertising. So I think that we fulfilled the scope pretty well for you. Mostly, I wanted to be here to answer any questions that you had and just be supportive.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, all right. Okay, now we're going to move into consider an act on approving the resolution readopting the City of Aransas past investment policy. That's why you're coming up.
This is what I got. Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is just the policy we bring to you every year just for readoption. There is no changes. We haven't changed it since we've enacted the policy. It's very stringent on what we can invest the city funds in. And so this is what guides us if we ever were going to go with a bank or an investment firm. The first thing they're going to ask for is your investment policy to see what type of instruments you could use to invest the city funds. So this is just an annual renewal of the same policy every year.
Okay. Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to consider an act on approving the resolution readopting the City of Aransas past investment policy.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along, we're going to consider and act on approving the resolution accepting the annual audit report ending September 30th, 2024.
Mayor, Council, before we begin, I just want to note that the annual audit is a critical part of the city's transparency, accountability, and the city's sound financial policies for the city. It provides the governing body and the public with an assessment of our financial reporting and our internal controls. So at this time, I just wanted to thank Mrs. McElwee and our finance team for all the work that they did in putting this audit together.
Oh, yeah. I know it was a lot of work at that.
Thank you, Mayor. You stole some of my thunder.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
That was slide 3. Did you steal it?
No, I did not.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, and City Council. Thank you for having me. So tonight, I'm here to give you a brief overview of the city's audit results, and I'm going to highlight the key takeaways.
Can I ask you a question before you start?
Sure.
For transparency so public understands, are you peer certified?
I'm peer reviewed.
Peer
Yes.
reviewed?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
I actually have a copy of my report if you'd like it.
Sure.
Okay.
And can you say the importance of a peer review so people understand? Okay, perfect. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Let me get back to where I was. So I'd like to thank the city staff. They were very cooperative, responsive, and they were easy to work with doing my audit. This audit is for the year ending of 9/30/24. So you guys every month or quarter you do financials? Every month. So you get financials every month from your internal staff, and then I'm hired to come in after the fact and audit those financials. So you're getting up-to-date monthly financial reporting, and then I come in and put it in a book and make it look fancy. The delay in this report was not due to any financial issues or problems. It was procedural. New professional standards have been issued by the AICPA, and that's my governing body, and they're requiring a pre-issuance review of my work before it gets presented and before it gets issued. So essentially, it's an audit of an audit. So I met some challenges trying to find, first of all, a reviewer that the AICPA would approve and who had availability. So it was kind of a series of unfortunate events that happened that Sandra got busy with the budget and I got busy with some things, and we just crossed paths a lot. So anyway, the reason why it's late has nothing to do with anything except just some procedural timing. So now we'll start the slideshow, and I had a little clicker, and I had some cute little animations, but it's going to just be pretty flat and boring. So the first slide is, why have an audit? And the first reason is because the state requires it, and they've tightened the due dates on those that we'll talk about later. Another reason is because it gives you some accountability to the taxpayers, and it puts transparency and public trust in place. The audited financial statements provide an outside, independent review, not from the internal. So I come in and look at what has been done, and that's why it's independent. And that's why we have to go through jump through so many hoops to maintain our license and stay peer reviewed and that sort of thing. Grant funding requirements, they require you have an annual audit, and then lender and bond requirements. So what does an audit provide? So an audit provides financial statements that are comparable to other cities. And this is important because whenever people are looking to come and invest in your city, they might want to look at your financials, they might want to look at Ingleside's financials, they might want to look at another city that has the same financials, and they might want to say, gee, what are the tax rates, what is the historic? There's a lot of history in these audits. It gives you evidence that funds are properly accounted for or not, and it provides identification of any material issues that we find. And it also lets you know whether or not you're in compliance with the applicable laws and requirements. So what does an audit not provide? So it doesn't check every dollar. You couldn't do that. It doesn't guarantee perfection. So we work on a materiality threshold. So some things are more material and more important than others. If there's a $10 error, that's quite different than a $100,000 error. And we would treat a $10 error differently than we would a $100,000 error. So that's why we have to look at materiality. And some things are more important for the city for sometimes those $10, maybe somebody spent $10 on something illegal. Now that becomes more important than maybe $100 that was missed over here. So everything has its own reason for being important, and that's what we have to look. That's what we have to look at. An audit does not judge decisions. We're just the facts, ma'am, and we're basically historians. And it doesn't predict the future, of course. So I'm going to give you an overview, just the overview. The audit resulted in a clean, unmodified opinion. What that means is it's the highest opinion that you can get. It's a clean opinion. There were no findings. There were no material weaknesses reported. And the single audit was completed with no federal compliance findings. So essentially, you got a clean bill of health. So now we're going to talk about the overall financial position. And you should ask yourself, are you better off or worse off this time last year? And the numbers are going to be a little staggering because what happened is some big projects were completed, and then the big bond was issued, and that gave you a big bump in your numbers. So your total net position increased by approximately almost $13 million. And the increase, again, is primarily due to the issuance of the new bonds, the completion of long-term projects, and that resulted in new assets being added to the books, and federal grant revenues related to those projects. So it was kind of the perfect storm, got all added in at one time. There were a lot of things that got completed on the books, at least this last year. Your overall financial position, this increase reflects investment in infrastructure and capital improvements, not day-to-day operations, and not necessarily cash either. A lot of people think, oh, my fund balance increased $20 million. I must have $20 million extra dollars. No, you might have $20 million of extra streets. And so that's a difference that has to be also understood. Okay, looking on, the governmental fund balance. Now when we look at the government as a whole, just the governmental side of the business of the city, because you have the governmental side and then you have the business side. The business side is your water and sewer and your harbor, your aquatic center and the civic center, and then you have the general government, the services to your constituents. And those that fund balance increased almost $30 million. And again, it's wrapped up in that other number, and it has to do with those completed projects, bonds being issued, and grant proceeds. The increase is driven by not driven by one-time activity, and it's project timing, and it's not going to be a recurring trend. So don't expect this to happen next year. There's not that much in the coffers ready to be completed. Capital activity, your debt and capital activity. So I'm regurgitating, but you had $15.36 million in certificates of obligation that y'all issued for public safety facilities and for streets and improvements. There was an additional $1.1 million in tax notes that were issued for utilities improvements and those kinds of things, parks and recreation and those kinds of projects. And the debt was issued, again, it was issued for long-term capital projects. It was not issued for day-to-day operations. There are some cities that have to issue debt just to get their payroll done. And this is not the case with the city of Aransas Pass. Your debt is within legal limits, and it's properly disclosed in your audit. So we met all of those. We checked all those boxes. So what's next? So the new Texas audit timeline is the audit has to be completed within 180 days of year end. So now guess what? All of us procrastinators, now the state says so we have to. So you're going to be seeing me probably in March. You're going to see me in just a few months with this new, and we've already started on the audit. I did want to touch base. I skipped over something that Councilmember Martin was alluding to, was the peer review process and the processes that we have to go by. You know, CPAs we're heavily regulated, and we have to go through a peer review. We have to go through all kinds of hoops, essentially, to maintain the public trust. And so that's one thing that we go through a peer review. I've been a part of the peer review system since 1995, and I've got all my peer reviews since that time. And it's a very expensive process, and it takes a lot of time too, because essentially I hire an outside CPA firm to come in and audit my work. They come in and they look at my work and they give me recommendations, and if there's something wrong, they write me up. So anyway, but yes, that's what the peer review process is. And we have to have our licensing. We have to license every year. We have to have 40 hours of CPE every year. So that's why I think that our audit holds as much water as it does with like the bond counsel and those kinds of people, is because we're supposed to have those standards and we're supposed to keep up with that kind of stuff. So that's the end of my
Brenda.
presentation. Do you have any questions?
I'm sorry, can I ask you, what's the advantage or disadvantage of this peer review status?
Well, if you don't get peer reviewed, you can't do audits, period.
You can still do CPA work, but
You
not
can do tax
audits?
work, but you can't issue financial statements. You can't even issue financial statements for Joe's Auto Repair. If you're not peer reviewed, you may not issue financial statements, you may not do any attestation work, you may not do a review, a compilation, or an audit. You may not do agreed upon procedures. So essentially, if you're not peer reviewed, you're H&R Block.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
And that's not bad. It's just that that's what they do. They do taxes, and that's what somebody that's not peer reviewed just does taxes.
Cannot do audits, period.
Or any financial attestation work, which is like financial statements. Like, you have to have financial statements if you go and get a loan for a business. If you get a business loan, CPAs have to issue financial statements. So yeah, they've made it real tough on us, but it's not easy, and things that aren't easy, everybody can't. That's why everybody can't attain those. So
Hey, Brenda, any idea how many accountants here in Aransas Pass are peer reviewed?
I don't have any idea.
Okay.
I just know that I am, and that's what I work. That's what I focus on.
Okay, thank you.
Anyway, do you have any more questions about the audit or anything like that?
Good.
Well, thank you very much. I
Thank-
appreciate your
thank you
attention.
for your good work.
Thank you, Brenda.
All right.
Yep.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very much.
Brenda.
All right. Well, do we have a motion?
Yes. Let me get glasses on.
I'll make a motion to consider an act on approving the resolution accepting the annual audit report ending September 30th, 2024.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. We have a second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're going to consider an act on an ordinance amending the city code of ordinances to provide for an automatic increase in water and sewer rates pursuant to section 29-27C, section 29-28A, B, and C, and section 29-30 A, B, C of the city code of ordinances as a result of increase in rates by the city's water vendor and providing for an effective date.
Good evening once again. We do this every year. At the beginning of the year, towards the end of every calendar year, San Patricio Municipal Water District will meet, and they will decide if they're going to do a water rate increase. That usually happens in December. Then they'll let us know in January, like, this is what the board decided. The board decided to do a rate increase. So now we need to pass that cost on, unfortunately, to the customer. We cannot financially absorb that cost with us. So we did a really quick calculation. Right now, the increase that we're looking for an average typical home that consumes about 3,300 gallons, that's the average consumption here for our residents, is gonna look at an increase of $1.85 more a month. That's what they're looking at, both for the water and the sewer. It's a 28-cent increase for water and a 28-cent increase for sewer. Combined, you're looking at about $1.85 a month for the average water residential customer.
Is that limited to 3,300 gallons and
It
goes
is based
up?
on the consumption of 33, yes. We
It
did
goes
an
up
average.
after that?
Yes, it's based on consumption. So the consumption, like 5,000 gallons, you divide that by 1,000, multiply it by the 28 cents, and that's how you'll come up with that.
Would you get that accountant back here? I can't figure all that.
I can show you. Okay, hold on. Let me do it real quick.
And I guess another one, I had somebody call me and was asking, I guess, to explain the hike in the sewer charge. Because I told him,
The
good question.
sewer goes hand in hand with the water. Okay, so we did a rate study a couple of years ago, and part of what the company left us behind was a working document. So every year I take in our water loss, what Public Works, they produce a water loss report every year. We plug in that number. We plug in the number of where San Patricio Municipal Water is going to tell us this is where we are, and it'll generate where it needs us to be. So San Patricio Municipal Water increases the water by 25 cents to us. We need to increase it by 28 cents to account for the water loss.
Water
Because we have
loss.
water breaks.
Yep.
We unfortunately, that's just, it is.
Part of it, yeah.
It's part of the business. So
Yep.
we had to increase it those 3 cents. So the water and the sewer, how they go hand in hand, the sewer averages about 48% of the cost. So we don't meter the sewer. Okay, so basically on average, if you consume 3,300 gallons, we're gonna charge you for sewer 48% of that.
Okay.
All right, and so we need to be within those parameters and those numbers, and that's why we had to increase the sewer also the 28 cents to be more aligned. Because if we don't increase the sewer and we let the sewer low, there's gonna come a year when we're gonna have to come to you and say, we're gonna need to increase the sewer for $1, $2 just to catch up to all those years that we never did anything. So it's best to do an incremental increase versus a bigger increase at some future point in time.
Okay.
So Sandra, can you clarify? The sewer increase, is that encompassed in the $1.85 per month
Yes,
for
ma'am.
the average family? So
Yes,
there's not an additional
No, ma'am.
increase, it's
That's all
within
included. Yes,
the
water and sewer,
$1.85?
that's what the average household will see, about $1.85. It all depends on consumption, obviously.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay. All right.
What
Since we're in a
about,
run- Yes, I'm
what
sorry.
about with our water shortage issue coming up? How's this
That's-
gonna affect that?
That's why I think the consumptions are a little bit lower than
Yep.
normal, to be honest with you. Our consumptions are usually more like 4,500 gallons a month, and since we've noticed a decline in our sales, since we've started the water conservation, the stage, when we went from stage 1 to stage 2, but our biggest difference really came in from when we moved from stage 2 to stage 3 that we are right now. We have noticed a decrease in our sales revenue on that. So yes, so the consumption is lower. That's why the residents are consuming less water.
Do you foresee it going any higher this next year?
Unless the water restrictions are lifted.
I don't think so.
If the water restrictions are not lifted, I don't see, we've been very fortunate that our customers are listening to the restrictions. So unless the restrictions are lifted, then no, sir. I
Yeah,
don't see that
I don't see
happening.
them getting out of stage 3 at all.
I
in
agree
here,
with you,
yeah.
but I don't, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sandra. We're good? All right, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve an ordinance amending the City Code of Ordinances to provide for an automatic increase in water and sewer rates pursuant to Section 29-27C, Section 29-28A, B, and C, and Section 29-30A, B, and C of the City Code Ordinances as a result of an increase in rates by the city's water vendors, and providing for an effective date as of, we're doing today?
January 1st, because we need to do that for the bill.
January 1st.
January 1st?
Yes, ma'am.
2026.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Okay, moving right along, we're gonna consider an act on approving a facility license agreement with Roland Pena for use of the softball field complex for a 2-year term beginning February 20th, 2026 and ending February 20th, 2028. Man, it seems like we do these all the time. I like seeing you up here.
Over 26 years, isn't
Huh?
it?
It's been a little while since he's been here.
Yeah, it's been a while. Good afternoon, Council, Mayor, and Mary. Thank you for putting me on the agenda. Y'all have any questions? Y'all read the...
I believe Mr. Tarkington was going to explain the changes in this agreement.
Okay.
Oh, go right ahead.
We met with me and Ms. Juarez and met with Mr. Pena 6 days ago, and there were a few changes to the agreement that he was recommending in order to, because of increased cost, and those are listed in Ms. Juarez's agenda memorandum. And anyway, Mr. Pena is our service provider for adult softball and he rents the the fields out at Community Park for adult softball. And these are his recommendations for him to be able to keep from losing money. So staff recommends approving you have the agreement in front of you. Staff recommends approving the agreement.
His previous agreement was a 3-year term. He's changing that from 3 years to 2 years.
Okay. I'm good with it. You guys got any questions?
No.
You have any questions?
No,
I just got a recommendation. If any possible way we can fit in on the budget for more dirt. I'm only getting 1 load per year. And the way that southeast wind blows, and the fields have been there for, I don't know, a long time.
We did discuss that at the meeting, and I
just wanted
did
to know
make.
that we discussed it, just
Yeah.
consider that.
I know, we've talked about
It's
it
broken, okay.
over the
We
years.
we
yeah.
did discuss it at the meeting, and what I told Mr. Pena was that we budgeted for 1 truckload. That,
So we'd have to look at it at budget time.
Truckload, like, how much dirt is it, David? Like 6 or 8 yards?
I can't remember off the top of my head, it's been a minute before we've been in charge of it.
It's gone up a little bit. It's going up, everything, like everything
Oh,
else.
no.
Yeah, everything's going up.
Okay.
You got any free dirt, David?
You can get that red stuff.
Free dirt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Free.
Yeah.
perhaps next budget season, we
Yeah.
can look at increasing that, but for this budget cycle, we budgeted 1 truckload.
Yeah, we can get with Roland in a Little League and
Yeah.
figure out how much we
It's
need.
the red dirt. Yeah, I'm having problems, when it rains a little bit, just 30 minutes or 15 minutes. Oh.
Yeah, I think we could do, we could get with, I think next budget time, Roland, we get with you, get with the Little League, and we get with Andy and figure out how much we
We're
need
talking
for
about
everybody.
it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, demand it, just
No.
whenever
Yeah.
you can fit it in.
Yeah, just remind us at budget, so we don't forget.
The gentlemen here have been very helpful, and we're
Okay.
trying to work together. Just wanted to bring that up to y'all.
I have
Sure.
a question. How much is a truckload of dirt?
A
Just-
lot.
I don't know. You have to ask this man or that lady there, or maybe that man, I don't know.
Yeah, it's,
Mary,
I
would
don't
this
know.
be considered sports tournaments under the Hop Funds Code that dirt could be used for? Because Hop Funds are, the availability are used for.
I don't think it
We can take a
will.
look
No?
at it, but I don't think it would qualify.
Yep.
But
Okay.
Can you get by till next year?
Yeah, we can budget by, I'm just saying that I'm gonna use that dirt just to fill in the pockets.
Okay.
Because right now, we're on the number 2 field, which is on the left, it's got like a dip between 30 and shortstop. Like I said, it rained 15 minutes, and I got that much water in there. And I have to go there and pump it out, and I have to wait for it to dry. Like this time of year, it don't get, the sun doesn't stay out very long, so I lose a week, you know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
'cause I'm waiting for it to dry. So that's what I'm saying. Right now, we're playing, we have games tonight. We have a lot of industrial teams out there that are from the valley that are working out there. If I'm saying this correctly, Bedco, I say it's correct, right?
Betchel?
Bechtel.
Bechtel, yeah.
Yeah.
We have 11 teams out there, and they're all industrial. They play on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
And I've had my regular league that's local on Wednesdays.
Have you spoken with the oil and gas companies about maybe sponsoring the dirt?
I'm thinking about go talking to somebody and try to get scoreboard sports. That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Scoreboards.
Tell them to throw in some dirt.
Right.
Well, I'm sure there was one gentleman last year that wanted to put a banner of his company to be able to.
Oh, that's
sponsor
smart.
Scoreboards.
Yeah.
But he disappeared. I don't know what happened to him. I know where he's at. I'm gonna go talk to him. He didn't go very far. He went to Ingleside, so I'll find him over there.
Okay.
But yeah. But
All right.
everybody's enjoying themselves, and I say, I thank y'all,
Good.
let this go on as long as it has. Mary's been here for a long time. She knows it's been here a while, so.
Oh, yeah.
It has its years that are good and bad.
Yeah,
So,
of course. All right.
this year's been pretty good. Last year, excuse me. We had a lot of, like I said, the jobs picked up throughout that area, so they live here from Monday through Thursday, and they go home Friday afternoon, and they come back on Sunday night. It keeps them out of trouble, in other words.
Good.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah,
so-
just for the council's information, the Public Works did have the dirt delivered for this year on Friday.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Good job.
That's gonna help.
Thank
We'll
you.
get you taken care of next year,
I know you will.
hopefully.
Yeah.
I know you- Okay, thank you.
All
I
right,
appreciate
thanks,
it.
Roland.
Any more questions before I dismiss myself?
No.
I'm good.
Gotta go. We got games tonight.
All right, you
All
got
right,
it. Good
thank
seeing
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion, consider an act on approving facility license agreement with Roland Pena for use of the softball field complex for a 2-year term beginning February 2026 and ending February 20th, 2028.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roland.
Thank you, Roland. Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna consider an act on approving temporary street closures associated with the Saltwater Mardi Gras Parade scheduled for February 14th, 2026 for the following streets from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. East Maddox Avenue, Huff Street, and Bigelow Street.
Hi.
Hey.
Good evening,
Hello.
Mayor and Council. Thank y'all so much for letting us be here. I'm here representing Destination Aransas Pass and just letting you guys know about the Saltwater Mardi Gras Festival. As he just said, it's taking place February 14th from noon until 6. We're very excited. So I'm here to tell you, or answer any questions you have about all the fun that we're going to have out there. And now it's going to be at the harbor this year, so we're really excited to show off our beautiful harbor to everyone who comes to enjoy the festival. And Cherie is here for any of the logistics on street closers for our parade that's going to take place at 11 o'clock
Yes.
on the day of the event. So I'm going to turn it over to her for any of
Do
the
y'all have any questions?
logistics.
Well, so we're going, I'm horrible with streets. What's the main street?
I think we ended up saying we only needed to
Tom
close
wants
it
to
at
speak.
Railroad instead of Maddox.
So we're gonna start on Maddox and then we'll go over there in front of Coasters. That's kind of where we'll be setting it up and lining everybody up. And then that'll be the starting point. So at 11 o'clock when the parade actually starts is when we're gonna do, you know how it has that little turnaround up there?
Yeah.
The top part will stay open.
Okay.
So everybody will still have the upper access. It's the lower part, and we're gonna go the lower street, which is
Bigelow,
Huff Street.
Huff.
No, Huff Street's on the bottom right, or is it Bigelow?
Huff.
Okay, well, we're gonna go, it says Bigelow. Okay,
Where
so
am I at?
Bigelow, we're gonna go Bigelow. It will end basically when we hit the parking lot for the
The
fishing
festival.
boats. That's where we're at with the festival. So it will end there. That's where we'll do our, what do you call it, trophies and stuff like that. And
Okay.
then that's where it ends.
See,
So
yeah, I'm
once they hit
backwards.
the parking lot,
Yeah.
then they can go up on the High Street Allen, or the High
Yeah.
Street Allen, and then that's where who's ever done with the parade, they can leave out and go home, and it'll be done. So it's basically a very simple, Maddox will be closed. I'm not gonna double up. I'm gonna have one side of the street still open for anyone who lives on that street.
Oh, you're just doing like the shrimpery,
Yeah,
but
kinda
backwards.
basically the same. I
Yeah,
know during
yeah.
the shrimpery, we had two lines, and I
Yeah.
kinda doubled up, and I had that one homeowner was upset,
Yeah.
not doing that again. So lesson learned there, and we're just gonna keep, and I mean, we're not as big, I don't know, we might be getting as big
Yeah.
for this parade. We've actually got quite a bit of people
Oh, wow.
participating so far.
Okay.
So we're just gonna line up there, line up in front of Coasters, and then we'll take off from there.
Will
Okay.
people still be able to get in and out of Coasters?
Oh, yeah, we're basically over there, like in the
Just
grass area.
kind of on the side,
Yes,
so
on the-
so people will still be,
Yes, ma'am.
okay,
And people can
perfect.
still drive back and forth just as long, and I try to keep people who's parking, dropping off kids, stuff like that, park off to the side, not be in the middle, don't,
Okay.
block off anything like that, yes.
Okay.
So just to clarify, you're not closing the streets for the whole day? It's
No,
it's just for the parade itself?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just, and it's basically that lower half where people can get in about 10:45, I think that's the cutoff time, where you can go and park to watch the parade. And
Okay.
then 10:45, that lower half is cut off.
Okay.
And then, but the upper half is still available. They can park up there at the
Sure.
event, walk down to be able to watch the parade.
Okay.
Okay.
So that it shouldn't be.
Do you
an
wanna say
issue, but
something,
we are
Tom?
trying something
Come
new.
on.
I just want to get some clarification.
Hey, Tom, come up here so everybody can hear you.
Tom White with Redfish Bay Marina. I just wanted clarification, so you're not cutting off, or wanting to cut off the whole street?
No, we never do.
Okay, so what, are all of the accesses like Maddox and staff and all them, are you still able to come in?
I think on Maddox, you know how it has that red right over here, like where the hill is?
Right.
That will probably be cut off because that's kind of where, but the other side where people can probably still come in and go down. I think it'll stay open to a certain point. I don't remember what.
Oh, here, got the man.
With the boathouse and coasters and all that? 'Cause we
Right,
got customers coming in and out.
coasters will still be accessible. Where you see number 2 up there, we're gonna have an officer there with barricades, and they'll let people through if they have a purpose to go through there. So coasters is gonna stay, available the whole time.
You know, when we do the shrimpery, we're always lined up over there.
Right.
It's basically the same, we're just turned the opposite.
Go in the other direction,
Yes.
yeah.
I just want to make sure we still have.
No,
access.
No, if she's doing-
I don't block that side of the street ever, because I know Coasters has their
Well, the
customers,
marina
and so do
also.
y'all.
Yeah, and how she did it last year, yeah, I mean, I was down there, you
Yeah.
can still get in and out of there just fine.
And I'm being respectful for all the businesses and stuff like that, so yeah.
Yeah.
most
Thank you.
definitely.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, you got any more questions?
I
Okay.
don't.
Do we got a motion?
I'll make a motion to consider an act on approving the temporary street closures associated with the Saltwater Mardi Gras Parade scheduled for February 14th, 2026 for the following streets from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. East Maddox Avenue, Hub Street, and Bigelow Street.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor, do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Appreciate it.
Motion
Thank
carries.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
We will.
Okay, moving right along, we're gonna consider and act to award a request for proposals for public relations consultant services.
Yes, on December 1st, the council approved the issuance of a request for proposals for public relations consultant services. The deadline to receive those proposals was January the 7th. We received a total of 5 proposals. I mean, you can see them on the screen. One of them was from MDG Productions from Addison, Texas. The other one was from Jacqueline Rodriguez, Aransas Pass. Posnick Camarillo from San Antonio. Touchstone Headquarters, they're in Minneapolis. And KCS Public Relations from Corpus Christi. So those were the 5 proposals that we received.
Okay. Well, does anyone have any recommendations or anything they'd like to discuss about this?
I don't have that deal up to get the
Who was
list
the
to look
lowest,
at.
who was our lowest bid?
I submitted those proposals to the
Mhm.
council.
Yeah.
I looked at all of them, and the one that I felt was the best fit was Jacqueline Rodriguez from Aransas Pass. I really felt she was the best fit as far as what we're needing, what we're expecting, what we'd like to see, and the price was in line with what we can actually afford versus what we want or what we can dream of.
I agree. I like local.
I like the fact that she's from here, she's homegrown, she graduated here, and we'd be giving a job to a local
Absolutely.
person. And I like that fact too.
100%.
I agree.
It's important that Aransas Pass supports Aransas Pass.
Let me just add that
No, I'm good.
the proposals were submitted on time, and the funding for these services, it will come from the hot funds.
Hot funds.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
I'd like to, can I make a motion?
sure.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Jacqueline Rodriguez as our new relations consultant, service person.
We would probably need an amount
Effect-
and a term. I mean, you want to do a
I-
1-year term or a 2-year term?
I was thinking of 6 months with an option to extend for another 6 months. Could we do that, Mr. Isasi? I was thinking we could do 6 months, kind of line out everything, you know, expectations, all of the, you know, procedures and things. And then everything's going smooth and everything, then we could have that option to extend. Would we have to come back and bring it to council, or could we just say we'd
If-
like to go ahead and extend the agreement?
Well, at that point, being that it's an option, you guys can, you have it as an option. So you have to take action, you can bring it back.
At
In
the end
6
of
months?
6 months.
Well, honestly,
I think we can do a year.
I feel comfortable with a year because it's going to take her time.
Okay.
To get used to it, and we need to give her ample opportunity to
Okay.
prove if she can or can't.
Okay.
Fair enough. It's no different than, you know,
Prior.
somebody starting a position someplace. There is a transition phase, whether it's good or bad or indifferent. You have good things happen, you have bad things happen, and we need to let all those hiccups come by and ride and give her an ample opportunity to prove herself that, yes, you are
here?
correct, I am the best fit for this position. So I'm gonna,
And I guess
Do we
we'll
have an
need,
amount?
we'll need an amount,
Well,
right?
we'll need an amount,
And Will
yes.
we need a effective date, like when, the date they start?
Well, I mean, if you approve it today, we can make it effective today, or we can, if you want to make it effective February 1st,
Hit the
Yes.
ball rolling, make it effective today.
All right, you got the amount?
The amount on the proposal was 48,000.
4,000.
Year 40.
It was 4,000.
I believe that was her fee monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a 4,000 retainer, correct?
Yeah. Right? That comes out to the same thing.
Yeah, 48 a year. So she's gonna
Yeah.
want to do a year, 48,000 for the year.
Oh, you're saying for the year, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
you're confusing me. Yeah.
Yeah,
I say,
48,000.
Approve Jacqueline Rodriguez as our new public relation consultant at the rate of $48,000 a year or $4,000 a month to be paid for through hot funds
No problem.
for the term of 1 year, effective today, January 20th, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Is it okay if she comes up and has a word?
Sure.
She's right here.
See, I don't even know what she looked like.
Hi, Mayor and Council. My name is Jacqueline Rodriguez. I am a graduate from here from 2018, so I'm glad y'all picked me. I'm a resident from here, so I'm sure to give y'all some amazing work. I'm glad y'all picked me. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. We
Thank
look
you.
forward to
Welcome
working with you.
aboard.
Thank you, Jackie. Welcome. So do you accept the offer?
Oh, yeah, we didn't ask her if she did or not. That's true. Okay, now we're gonna consider an act on reimbursement to Matthew Pierce in the amount of $850 for the rezoning application fee.
Yes. Back on October the 13th, the council denied a rezoning request for this same property. There's a section in the zoning ordinance that states that when a zoning request is denied, no new rezoning for that same property can come for consideration. They have to wait out a year. Mr. Pierce submitted his rezoning application for this same property back in November. So that was well within the year. So it was not eligible to come for a rezoning. So therefore, the action that you have before you is to reimburse him the application fee that he paid for that rezoning in the amount of $850.
But he is not the same person who applied for
No,
October.
he is not, but he is rezoning the same property, and that's what the zoning ordinance states, that you cannot rezone the same property within a year of the first rezoning
Rezone.
being denied.
Does the ordinance say that the amount is refundable?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
Okay.
Well, no, it does not. That's why we're coming to the council for, if you would
But we shouldn't have
consider.
taken the check to
We
begin
should,
with.
we
Yeah.
should not have processed it as a rezoning application because it was not eligible. So that's the request for the council, is to reimburse him his application fee.
Okay.
I make a motion to reimburse, making a reimbursement to Matthew Pierce in the amount of $850 for the rezoning application fee.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and now we're going to move into executive session. Item 1, Con Brown Harbor lease, Aransas Pass Seafood Packers. Second item will be Con Brown Harbor lease, Sea Level Marine. Item 3, potential Con Brown Harbor lease, Mark Linsky. And the fourth item of business will be an update on Con Brown Harbor project, Tom White, and it is 6:54.
Jackie.
Okay, we're gonna reconvene in open session, and it is 9:52 PM. And do we have any motions to be made?
I make a motion to approve the sublease between Daniel Dorman and Aransas Pass Seafood Packers, allowing dock repairs only. No dock extensions or additional docks shall be allowed unless and until a permit is approved by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and I think ought to be it, right? Okay, with that being said, meeting adjourned.